Marketing Magic. Yeah. I'm the amazing Zender. Today we're going to try to find other investors. I know there are times you realtors out there are sitting here if you come up, you're going to list this property, you pull up to the property, and boy, gutters are hanging down off the roof, the grass is taller than the shrubs. There's needs a lot of TLC to this property, and all of a sudden you're thinking, this is not the house I would put on the cover of a magazine. So how do I turn around and sell this house? Who can I sell this house to? And believe it or not, that type of house is basically a portrait to an investor. They know that they can be able to buy this house inexpensively. They can come in, they can rehab the house and make it just look like brand new by remodeling the property, repainting it, just cosmetically make it look nice. So how do we find investors who may be interested in buying this property? What is great is we have a tool called Courthouse Retrieval System. We're going to come right over here, come straight down to where it says owner's name, and we have different ways. Number one is I'm going to come right over here and I'm going to do, we have a wild card, which is the percent key. We're going to type in the word invest, I-N-V-E-S-T. Investors. If they open up a company, they always have like a company like, John Smith Investments, A to Z Investments, or investor in their name somehow. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put down percent invest and come right down and hit the search button, and immediately we're going to have a list of possible investors. In this case, we found 1,164. Notice we have like 205 Investments, 205 Investments LLC, 3747 Investments, Aaron Investments. So you can see the different types of properties that are out there that are owned by different investment companies or investors. Now, if you think that 1,164 is not enough to be able to get to you, remember that's not 1,164 investors. That's 1,164 properties that have the word investment or invest in their name somehow. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to do another search on how to find investors, because if they don't use invest in their name, then they definitely use properties. So let's do percent properties LLC. That has investor written all over it. Okay, so also let's come over here and maybe make sure that it's a single family residence, and let's see what our results are on this particular situation. And if we also want to find investors, we can find out-of-town, out-of-state owners. So let's get this results up. In this case, we found 505 properties, and you can see how we now have an owner's name: A&N Properties, ABR Properties LLC. These are all the ones: Alamo Properties LLC, Alexander Properties LLC. And one last way to find out-of-town owners, because if they're an out-of-town owner, I would assume they also fall in the criteria of a investor, is by taking advantage of the owner occupied. So let's go back to multiple. Come down to where it says absentee owner, out of state. We can also make sure it's a single resident property. Hit search. In this case, there's 6,715 properties, and naturally you can be able to see in this case it looks like there's a bunch of foreclosures. Let's go on down to where we find Here's one, Hooper Abrams, Old Hickory, Tennessee, is where the tax note is being sent to. Property's located at 58th Street North. So this is just another way of finding out-of-town owners who are investors, because if they're an investor, they're looking for any way to invest their dollars. Again, 3 different ways of finding the investors to market. Now go do some marketing magic on your own.